Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be ranking Marciana on the Burst 2 tier list. So, of course, if you guys are new to the channel, when a new character comes out, I do end up putting them on the tier list of their Burst. So these are only containing Burst 2 units. That's why characters like Modernia or Lita or Dorothy are not here, right? This has no Burst 3 or Burst 1 units, only Burst 2. Now, Marciana, of course, is a healer, so you don't really need, like, of course it's the third day since she's been out, but like we'll talk about it, right? Make sure you guys subscribe and like. We're trying to get to, well, it's not the next month. I want to say we're trying to get to 8,000 by the end of the month, but I need to say that for next month. So we're trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year until next month comes out. So subscribe, right? Yeah, just subscribe. We really want to get 10K by the end of the year. And I know we can do it if you guys subscribe, so subscribe. But yeah, so after testing Marciana, she's a good character, right? She is the second, like, I want to say she's the only other option for Burst 2 healing. Like, the only other character that is good for Burst 2 healing is Blanc. Right, I know Biscuit heals, but hers is so random because she heals all allies, but like the way she heals them is differently. For example, right, so she will heal like attackers only after a full burst or something like that, and then she will heal supporters when using her full burst, and then she'll only heal defenders when they fall below 50%. It's not really that crazy, but Marciana is a character who heals consistently. Now, we're going to talk about her, and we're going to break it down and then put her in a tier. So, obviously, Marciana is a Burst 2 shotgun supporter. Her main thing is healing, right? That's really it, right? She does have a buff as well, which is the defense up, but let's talk about it. So, her first skill, when the last bullet hits a target, all allies will be healed of attack damage of HP over 3 seconds. Pretty nice, right? A little lifesteal there. A lot of characters who are better in the game will like heal massively off that, like Modernia well, technically Modernia, like, nah, she won't really heal that much. Like, there's some characters who'll heal insane off of that, right? Depends on their damage, of course, right? If you're hitting 2k per attack, then you're not healing much, but if you're healing or like doing 200k per attack, you're healing a decent amount, right? So like Elise really does benefit off this as well. Like, a lot of good characters who hit hard, of course, does benefit off that. Activates when the last bullet hits the target. 2 allies with the highest attack will have HP potency increased by a massive amount for 3 seconds. HP potency is HP increased, HP increased in healing, so that's not bad, right? When they get healed, they just get healed 26.98% more, essentially, at level 10 skills in this case, if the last bullet hits each other or hits the enemy. All right, when you use her burst skill specifically, all allies will just recover a certain percentage of the caster's final max HP as HP. It's not like a overtime thing, it's just a off rip, boom, right? It just heals them, right? But because it is just like a off the rip thing, and it's not it's just off the rip heal and not an overtime heal, it is going to like most likely be a big amount, right? 28% at level 10 is pretty good for a supporter, of course, right? And then her burst skill is on the 20-second cooldown. All allies will gain the storage effect, and the storage effect is a healing effect that exceeds the character's max HP, and access portion of the HP or the healing will be stored up to a certain percentage of the caster's max HP that lasts for 10 seconds. So essentially, it's just increased HP, regular HP, not max HP. It's just increased HP. It's just that, realistically, right? And then defense also increased by 20.9% of the caster's defense, right? So a defense buff of the caster's defense for 10 seconds. So this character is, again, the only other like good Burst 2 healer. So I feel like that gives her a lot of credit, but the character herself is a bit wonky. Now, here's the first thing. Let's talk about her burst skill first. If the characters on your team are not at 100% HP, the storage effect doesn't matter, because the storage effect will only apply if your characters are at 100% max HP. So yes, she can heal on her second skill, but even if she heals and the heal doesn't go to 100% HP, the storage effect will be like it will be on the characters, but it won't matter unless you get to 100% while it's up, or if it's already up, and then pass 100% HP. So that's the one thing I've really noticed with this character is like in a lot of content, right? If I'm just running her as the main healer, I'm not always staying at 100%. That's the one thing, right? If I'm running her mainly as the only healer on my team, I'm not always going to be at 100%. And her heals are only good enough to get me up, but like not get me to 100%, right? Unless I'm using someone like a Niece where the first skill comes into play, right? But in reality, I'm kind of always under 100% in the difficult content with this character. So the storage effect doesn't really matter. Now, I thought what the storage effect was going to be was rather than just basically increase of regular HP, I thought it was going to be stored healing. I guess it technically is, right? It technically is, right? I thought it was just going to be stored healing, and then when you get attacked, you just get healed the amount. It's basically the same thing, because if you get attacked, the damage is being dealt to you, but you're actually not getting hurt with your max HP, because the extra HP you get from the healing is, being taken away essentially. So the way we thought it worked is technically the same. Realistically, it is the exact same, but the way we see it isn't how we thought it would be. But it is the way we thought it would be is the way it is, if that makes sense, right? I'm just saying you were not wrong, right? We were not wrong about how it works. It just doesn't look like the way we thought it would work, essentially, right? The skill 2 is good and all. The only gripe I have with the second skill personally is that it's, like, me personally, I like overtime healing. It's a one boom, like just outright heal, right? And that's like the moment you use the burst skill. So from the moment you use the burst skill until the end of the full burst, until, after the full burst is ending, you're not healing from that second skill no more, right? And 28%, because it's just off the dome, like the enemies could just deal the 28% to you after the one heal, rather than being healed over time. Even if the enemies do damage to you, you're still getting heals back up, right? With someone like Blanc. The only thing with Blanc is you have to run Noir, but I do think Blanc is still the better healer than this character, no question. And then again, the first skill is pretty nice since it goes to all allies, right? The recover of the attack damage of HP over 3 seconds. It goes to all allies, which is nice, but 9 times out of 10, like only 1 or 2 allies are really gonna like benefit from it heavily. Like a lot of your allies on the team are not gonna be healing from that. Like Litter, for example, if you have Litter on the team, she's not gonna be healing Jack with this. She's not, right? She will not be healing much with it. So the character is a bit wonky for me, because I'm thinking I want to put her in A or B tier. And I think if I was to put her in A, it would be mainly B, because she is the second best healer on the Burst 2 option. And she is a good healer, right? It's just, of course, a bit wonky in my opinion. I wouldn't say she's S. I don't know. I think I want to say she's A, right? Let me consider PvP. PvP, she's pretty decent because the extra HP is going to be very useful, not to mention the defense. So PvP, she's good. Against bosses, again, in most times you're going to be under 100%. The only thing that's going to matter is the second skill when you use the burst skill. And that's just their Axis heal, but then again, they could just like nuke you. I want to put her in B. Is she on the level of these characters? I'm trying to think, because when I look at A, I'm considering if she's on the level of like Novel, Viper, and Folkwang, Quincy. And I know like Folkwang is not either used, like not really used like that, but her kit, she's very good, right? She just never used like that, right? But I think, does this look right? I think I'll put her in low A, right? And I know people are going to be like, why is Novel in A? It's just because this is a general tier list, and Novel only matters against bosses, right? So obviously, like, everything else she's bad at is holding her down in tiers, right? That's the reality of the situation. This character in story is going to be fantastic for a lot of players. We'll put her in low A. You guys definitely let me know what you think. I don't think she's an S or SS character at all. I think A is like the highest I could give her, but I could understand the B. But I will give her low A, probably high B, but we'll give her low A for now, right? Maybe the next tier list with the next verse 2, which is I believe it's Naga. Maybe because I'll be more testing and stuff like that. Maybe she'll drop for me again, but she's not a bad character. She's just not a like consistent character. And I know that sounds weird because she is technically a consistent character. It's just the storage doesn't matter if you're not at 100% HP. The HP bonus is just one flat out heal, so you have to depend on that massive heal from the moment the full burst starts, basically to the end of a full burst, and then when you get back into a full burst, no other healing is coming into that second skill. And then the first skill, it depends on who's really doing damage, right? So it's just in like end game content, not really gonna be that crazy, but I'm gonna give her a low A. You guys let me know what tier you would put her in. I think people might put her in B. I don't think she's an S at all though. I think people will put her in A or B. I'm gonna put her in low A, high B. You guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous, and I'm out. Peace.